Gonna be a review for Action Jackson with Carl Weathers. Obviously, Carl Weathers just passed away a few days ago. Big fan of his. A really good actor. Like I said before, he's the kind of actor that I felt like should have been more of a leading man, but he never really was. He is the star of this movie. He did star in a few others. But I haven't seen those, I don't think. And I think I saw this as a kid, maybe on TV or something, but never didn't remember. So I figured, might as well check this out. Fortunately, Carl Weathers is no longer with us. And I'd say this is a good movie. This is not a great movie. It's one of many, I'd say, decent to good action movies from the 80s. It does have a great cast because you got Craig T. Nelson. He's the villain, basically, which I think is kind of a weakness in the movie. But anyways, I like Craig T. Nelson, but he's the villain. You have Vanity. She's a very beautiful woman. She was like I think like a singer. Also, she was in some other stuff. Let's see, what else is she in? She's in The Last Dragon. I don't know, Deadly Illusion. Never seen those, but she's in some other stuff I've seen. You have Sharon Stone for a little bit, who plays like the wife to Craig T. Nelson. You have Bill Duke, who is his captain. He's a cop, Action Jackson. He's his captain, and they kind of have a shaky relationship. You have Robert Davi, just in a couple scenes. So you have Edo Ross, who's the villain in Red Heat. He's in the beginning of this movie. He's in Dick Tracy, Lethal Weapon, Universal Soldier. So yeah, in the beginning of this movie, I think Carl Weathers. Does he beat him up? No, he may be an auto worker. Because this movie basically, Craig T. Nelson, I mean, this is all like very obvious. I don't consider this a spoiler, really. He is a rich businessman. He makes cars. He does other things. And he's trying to kill off the heads of the AWA, I think it's the Auto Workers of America, and to put in guys loyal to him. And then later he explains he may have ambitions politically, or to back someone politically to become president. So he's killing off these people, and Action Jackson, Carl Weathers, basically gets hint of it. And Craig T. Nelson also has a son who they never show, but apparently Carl Weathers beat him up really bad because he says he's a degenerate, and he beats him up really bad. He says they say he almost ripped his arm off. So he almost gets fired for that. He was a lieutenant. He gets demoted to sergeant. They even say he doesn't have a gun. I think Bill Duke said that his gun was revoked. So I was like, you can be a cop in a major city without a gun? Really? Okay. So there's that going on. So him and Craig T. Nelson kind of have this beef. And he's going and he's killing the heads of these guys. One guy's blown up in a boat on the lake, and Carl Weathers thinks this is weird, so he's trying to gain evidence that he's in on it. He makes a friendship with Craig T. Nelson's wife, Sharon Stone. I'll get into spoilers now, but I really don't think that this is much of a spoiler, because she overhears one of Craig T. Nelson's goons basically almost admitting to killing Robert Davi, who also was working for the AWA as I think like a private eye, but he saw too much, so he's kind of going crazy. He talks to Carl Weathers. He's very scared. I think Carl Weathers says he'll look into it, he'll get back to him, but then he gets killed right after that. So she hears this his goon in his mansion say this to on the phone. He notices that she hears him. She then goes and hangs out with Carl Weathers, and then later, kind of really dumb of her, she tells Craig T. Nelson this, that she heard him say this, and that she told Carl Weathers this. And then she's just like, this can't be true. You wouldn't do this. And he's like, no, it's not true. It's like, I don't know. I was like, man, she's really dumb. It's like, it's obvious this guy is a slime bucket. And then in his own house, he just kills her. I was like, wow. I was like, oh, I didn't really expect that, him just to kill her right there. And then they like plant, I think, her body in Carl Weathers' house. See, like, parts of the movie aren't really clear. It's like, then he gets blamed for her death. Carl Weathers gets blamed for Sharon Stone's death. And it's like, but how does that work? Like, they don't explain if it's Carl Weathers' gun, you know, but they say he didn't have a gun. And then they don't explain, well, how does he get blamed for her death? I guess her body ended up in his apartment. Not even really that's explained. So, you know, I guess I have some problems with the movie. Like, that is not explained well at all. And then the rest of the movie's kind of him and Vanity, because she is also having an affair with Craig T. Nelson. So he's trying to get close to her. So then she can kind of get him close to him. Maybe she has information about all the killings. She's also an addict. So there's all that mixed in all of this. And, you know, she's very good. I think the best parts of the movie are with him and her. I definitely think they have some good chemistry. You know, some of the problems I have with the movie, I think Craig T. Nelson, I mean, I like him as an actor, but I was watching like Rambo Ralph for Life's review of this from a few years ago, and he liked it too, but he's like, you know, some parts like Craig T. Nelson, he's doing like karate in one scene with this guy, and he's supposed to be this karate master, and it's like, are we supposed to take this seriously, or is this like making fun of the genre? I don't even know. I don't think it's making fun of the genre. I think it's all just played totally straight. I'm just not sure I buy Craig T. Nelson as this big tough guy that's this businessman who's really evil, and he kills all these people. And at one point in the movie, he says he enjoys killing people. He says sometimes it's fun to do. And I'm just not sure I buy it, really. So there's that. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if I say that it's a weak villain, but could have been, I don't know, maybe they should have just cast someone else. I'm not sure. I got nothing against Craig T. Nelson. He does a fine job, but there's just something missing there. And also, they don't really fight till the very end of the movie. And it's not, it's a pretty quick action scene. It's, you know, it's not that great. It is kind of cool. Carl Weathers drives like a Lamborghini through the guy's mansion. That was kind of cool. Although I think it's supposed to be a Delafont car, which looks very much like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari to me. But, so yeah, there's a couple guys in this that are in Die Hard. I mean, I think I saw 3. I think the limo driver in Die Hard is in this for like one scene. I think he's parking cars. He works at Carl Weathers' apartment building, and he parks Carl Weathers' car, and Carl Weathers makes this big deal. It's a 66 Impala Chevy convertible, and it's very rare. Later in the movie, it gets destroyed. They don't really explain that either, like who destroyed the car. I guess he just parked it like in a seedy area and people just stole it for parts, I guess. So he's in it. What's his name in Die Hard? Oh man, the character's great in Die Hard. Yeah, he's in it. There's a couple other guys that are in Die Hard that are in this, which is kind of interesting. because this came out the same year as Die Hard, I think. So maybe they shot this and then shot Die Hard, because they probably shot this in '87. So that's kind of interesting. There's a couple Die Hard alums, but it's just like Die Hard, like came out the same year. That's a movie. Again, you have Bruce Willis, really good actor. Carl Weathers, really good actor. There's no problems there. It's just the villain in Die Hard's way more memorable. Their scheme is really simple, and it's laid out really nice, really easy to understand. There's good action scenes throughout the whole movie too. I think this movie was lacking in that too. There's a couple good ones, but I don't know. They're a little few and far between, in my opinion, with Carl Weathers. But yeah, to compare those two movies, this movie I think is directed okay, but Die Hard, I think more flashy, better director, John McTiernan. So, I mean, I do like the movie. I think if you're a fan of Carl Weathers or 80s action movies, you should check it out. It's not terrible. These are just some of my complaints that I think would have made the movie a little better. But, so Carl Weathers came up with the idea for the film on the set of Predator during conversation with producer Joel Silver. And, I think him and Bill Duke were friends, and he's like, "Hey, you should be in the movie too." So the studio hoped to turn the film into a franchise, but it never happened. Dangerous Passion, 1990, a totally unrelated film which also starred Carl Weathers, was retitled Action Jackson 2 in some countries. That's weird. It's really weird. Oh, Carl Weathers and Vanity appeared in the music video for the film's theme song, He Turned Me Out, by the Pointer Sisters. The clip features the two playing pool in a bar. I do like her. I mean, she's a very beautiful woman. She has good chemistry with Carl Weathers. I mean, it's too bad because they could have made it just a sequel with her and him. I think a negative I had of because I thought this movie was more like a spy movie, kind of like James Bond, and it's not. He's a cop. It's much more low to the ground, which is fine. But I don't know. I always thought it was like a spy movie, trying to be kind of like James Bond a little bit. Oh yeah, Sonny Landham's in it, in like one scene. That was a decent action scene actually, because Carl he's selling stuff to her and he doesn't like that, so he beats him up. Pretty good action scene in a hotel motel. So that was pretty good. Oh, and one scene when they're walking down the sidewalk of a busy street, multiple film posters are visible of Predator. That's cool. Pop singer, dancer, and television personality Paula Abdul conducted the dance choreography scene in the film. Yeah, because at one point she's dancing for her show. Yeah, really good stuff. Um, I don't got any problems there. Yeah, the AEW, mean Auto Workers Alliance. Okay, I thought it was America, but and yeah, and then in one scene, it's explained that Craig T. Nelson, with someone in Italy, runs a group of guys called the Invisible Men, who are like hitmen. That's really not touched on at all again. Um, Maybe that could have been in the sequel. But yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, I think it made money. I think it made like around 20-25 million or so, and it costs like 7 or 8 million to make. Apparently it made tons of money on home video. So, but they never made a sequel. I don't really know why. Couldn't they made one for a couple million more? Have Vanity, have Carl Weathers in it. Um, I don't know. I mean, that's what I would say to do, because I mean they're the best part of the movie, I think. But Um, anyways, like the movie, I have some complaints. I don't think it's in the top 10 action movies of all time or anything, but solid little action movie. So, but yeah, overall, sad to see Carl Weathers go. Solid movie. Not amazing, but solid. But that's about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.